Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to another morning briefing. I sincerely appreciate you spending some time with me this morning as we have so many stories on the morning briefing right here on Friedman Adventures for you all. We're going to be covering several different stories, including limits of white sea bass. Are the barracuda ready to break wide open? More bass being taken on the local scene. Incredible opportunities for bluefin tuna. And a little bit later in today's presentation, we're going to have a game. Dave Dodge, he's a good friend of mine, Captain Dave Dodge, shot some video inside Long Beach Harbor. Number one, you're not going to believe the visibility. It was so clear and clean, the water. But down in the water is a fish ready to pounce on some bait that might go by. You identify the fish and you'll get a $25 gift certificate to Opsin Fluorocarbon. We'll get to that in a moment. But first of all, let's get into today's morning briefing. Hey, this Sunday, I want to tell you before we get into the fish stuff, Sunday at 9 a.m. at the BNS Brewery in beautiful Santee, California, they're going to put on an absolutely wonderful day for each and every one of you. Friends of Rollo takes kids fishing, and in today's environment and world, it's more important than ever that we get kids out there on the water, and Friends of Rollo is helping to do that. So over there at the BNS Brewery on Sunday, 9 a.m., they're going to have all kinds of raffles, thousands of dollars of raffles, and for $1, you can get in to one of those and win some great prizes. This Sunday, 9 a.m. at the BNS Brewery. Dino, who's a huge supporter of our channel, he's always there for me. He's a great guy. I got to fish with him on this Vets Day down there at H&M Landing. Super good guy. He brought it to my attention. Dino, I wish you all the best of luck. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. All right, let's get down to San Diego, where overnight boats, some guys are missing, but most guys are really having outstanding fishing right now. Really good limit style fishing for many of the boats. And the variety in terms of size, you have that 18 to 40 pound stuff, but it's mostly big, beautiful fish. We've had fish over 250 pounds. The question looms now, will we get one over 400 pounds this year? And the answer is, according to Mike Morrison at 22nd Street Landing, yes. According to Bobby Taft on the Top Gun 80, am I remembering this right? I think he said yes too. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to go back, or you can go back and listen to that interview. There's a lot of big fish around, and that means you've got to go with proper tackle. Now, we were on board vicariously, Scott Buchert actually, and what a team. Scott Buchert and Phil Friedman, so alert, the two of them. But Scott was on board the Mission Belle with my good friend Captain Sean Hardigan and the rest of the great crew in the Mission Belle, loading bait and heading out to the tuna zone where they had 6 nice bluefin tuna, the big one about 185 pounds. But we're able to tell you that it was a different day yesterday. You know, this fish has kind of been balled up and the fleet's been on top of it, but yesterday it spread out over a wide area, which has its good points and its bad points. I like it because you can get on your own little jag of fish and fish it hard, and boy, I'll tell you, there is still some outstanding catching going on down there in that neck of the woods. The guys on board the Mission Belle, Ryan, gave a great seminar on the way out. I love his analogy about choosing a good hot bait. Don't pick a bait, he says, that's all bloodied up like it's been in the ring with Mike Tyson. Make sure you choose a really good hot bait. And we've got Ryan in a separate video. I want to put you on deck of the Mission Belle, so make sure you come back and listen to that, because this is what is going on right now. And as I tell you all the time, I love you to come to the channel. I feel like we give you great info every day, but there's nothing like talking to the crews on the boats, like Ryan on the Mission Belle or any of those other guys, because they're out there doing it every single day, and they have my deep and abiding respect for what they do and how hard they work. All right, most of the fish on sinker rigs, you've got to fish, you know, heavy, 100-pound. You've got to have a 2-speed reel. These are big, tough fish. The longer you're on them, the more that can go wrong. 200-gram knife jigs to 300-gram knife jigs have been super effective on these fish, and you really want to listen to your crew. When you walk on the boat, especially if you're just getting into this, there are many boats in San Diego, the vast majority I would say, who welcome new people. When you come on board and you say, I'm new, I'm not sure how to do this, or even if you feel like you've been fishing for a while, but you're ready to like take on a 200-pound bluefin tuna, just tell the crew, and the good crews will say, oh, you don't know anything? Let me teach you. Those are the crews. Those are the guys you want to fish with. You don't want, oh, ha, 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 you don't know how to do it. You don't want that as a crew. You want the guys who say, let me teach you. Because good crew members are teachers. And the good guys down there in San Diego, the vast majority, will teach you how to do it. Great fishing on several other boats. San Diego had 23 bluefin tuna. These guys are leaving at 6 a.m. and coming up with these magnificent fish. 23 bluefin tuna. Liberty with 27 guys. 18 bluefin tuna, 15 of those in the 80 to 180 pound class. Mind-boggling stuff that is going on. The Grande, 26 guys, 19 bluefin. I just said that. And let's see, the Liberty, San Diego, all those guys with really good fishing. Let me go back to that just one more time, make sure I get these scores right since I'm losing my marbles. San Diego, 23 bluefin. Liberty, 27 guys, 18 bluefin. Grande, 26 guys, 19 bluefin. I think I got that right now. Just tremendous fishing, tremendous opportunities. And when you consider that you're leaving at 6 a.m. and you get a shot at this fish, it is absolutely mind-boggling good. So once again, folks, ask your crew member, bring heavy tackle. Now, having said that, there's still an opportunity for some kelp patty yellowtail down there in San Diego, and those fish are like 5 to 15 pounds. You get a shot at that, you're going to want to take it. So 40-pound mono fluorocarbon. We love OpsinUSA.com. Put in FA at checkout. You'll get a free gift as well as a personal note from Greg Brown, the owner, is a good friend of mine, and he is doing really great stuff. So keep that all in mind. That is looking really, really good. All right, let me take you in now to the coast and just talk about it in general. I really feel like we could get a barracuda bite here in the next week or so, maybe even today. I'm real high on this. We're seeing a lot of barracuda down there in the Ensenada area, all the way up the coast to the Channel Islands. It has yet to turn on, but the thing we've got going for us is, well, there's a few things. We've got a lot of anchovy around, and barracuda love that feed. So I like that, number one. Number two, we're seeing them. And number three, this coastal weather is going to be good. We're not going to get any wind. Water temperatures are creeping up to the point where you would expect to see a gar bite go on. So if you're jumping on a local boat, whether it's down there in Ensenada or local boat in San Diego where they continue to see some big yellows and also some decent calico bass fishing, more and more legals starting to be taken, mostly shorts, but more and more legals. Same thing as we move you up on the Monte Carlo out of 22nd Street Landing. They are seeing more and more legals. Up there on the Island Spirit with Cody Rogers out of Ventura Sportfishing, they've had some good signal. Remember how important it is to bring some iron with you and be ready, because once this light switch goes on, you're going to want to be chucking the iron at the gar, and there's nothing more fun than that. So we're watching that local scene, and I think it has great potential right now. It's time for it to turn on. More and more bass starting to be taken, so hopefully that's going to kick into gear here really, really soon. Let's talk about the islands behind me, or we'll start south and start at the Coronado Islands, where there's still a few yellowtail being taken. Many boats are just driving past there, not interested in yellows, not interested in calicos or whitefish or rockfish. But for those of you who are doing it, there's a few yellowtail there. I still think that place could blow sky high. There's been some yellows south of there down at Todos Santos Islands, down there off the Ensenada area, yo-yo ironfish, but most everybody, Arnie Sport Fishing and all those guys down there are driving right by it, heading out to the bluefin tuna area, and who can blame them? I mean, it's been really that good. Catalina Island, still potential there, but still slow for the most part. Starting to get back into it, however. The water's cleaning up, warming up. Conditions look pretty darn good right now. There's some bonita bouncing around there, sea bass, yellowtail, some more calico bass starting to be taken, and you back it up with rockfish and whitefish. Nothing wrong with that. You get the feeling that could really rock and roll here also, but we're going to watch the weather, as I'll have a little bit of weather info for you toward the end of the show that I want to make sure you're aware of. Clemente, again, there's some good signal out there, but it's been mostly whitefish and rockfish. And you know, I say that, and I don't mean to diminish it at all, because I'm a guy that loves rock fishing. I love catching whitefish and sheepshead and all that. Sometimes I like it more than catching big game fish. In fact, I do, I think. It's really fun fishing. It's great table fare. And while we're waiting for this to turn on, these yellows and sea bass and everything else, we can always get a nice shot of those bottom fish, it seems like, at Clemente. Santa Barbara Island, San Nicolas Island starting to turn on, but we're going to get some weather. I'll talk about that in a moment. But up there in the Channel Islands, my good friend Tucker McCombs on board the Endeavor does it again. And Tucker, man, what an outstanding fisherman. Customer service on that Ventura Harbor based boat is apex. I mean, it's right at the top. They do such a great job on board the Endeavor. Yesterday they had limits of white sea bass. They are going to have nice weather up there again today, and there will be more of that going on. Other boats with sea bass, also some halibut up there, and also, as I mentioned, that coastal region starting to look better for boats like the California, which is the old Matt Walsh out of Ventura Harbor Sportfishing, and the Island Spirit with my good friend Cody Rogers, starting to see that coastal area look much better. There's plenty of rockfish on the outside for the most part, but a great day on the sea bass. Dropper loop fishing, the way to get it done, and that is really applicable to all the islands that I mentioned before, Santa Barbara, Clemente. You want to be ready to go with dropper loop rigs, because this thing could turn on again really, really quick. You definitely want to have heavier line, at least 40. I like 50 or 60. A nice big hook like a 5/0, and probably a 6-ounce torpedo, but that's going to really vary depending on wind and current. So you definitely want to keep that in mind. Man, I'll tell you, I like what's going on here right now. I like the development, but we are going to take a step backwards because we're going to have wind this weekend again. Now, that's the forecast. It can change, and it pains me to say it because, God, I mean, the boats are off to a slower start up here in the LA Orange County Channel Island area, and here we come with more weather this weekend. We'll see where it all leads. It could be fishable, and it should be fishable, but I'm worried about the counts or the exotics biting for those of you who are focused in on that. So we'll watch the weather for you very closely. On the coastal region, down in San Diego, it's not going to be an issue. They're blessed with some really nice weather here in the coming days. But the further you get offshore and the further north you get for the weekend, it looks like it's going to be breezy, which might be a little bit of a euphemism in this case in point. Yesterday, Captain Dave Dodge, good friend of mine, Dave ran several boats here. He sent me this video, and it's beautiful. I mean, look how clean the water is in Long Beach Harbor. It's unbelievable. There's a fish down there, and if you can identify the fish, now Dave identified it, he got a better look at it. So if you can identify that fish, I'm going to give you a $25 gift certificate to Opsin Fluorocarbon. Put your guess up on our YouTube channel, you know, the ID of the fish. What is that fish that you see down there in that crystal clear water? Let me know what you think it is. Thank you, Dave, for supplying us with that. And for everybody who gets the right answer, we're going to put you all in a drawing. We'll pick one winner, and that winner will get $25 worth of Opsin Fluorocarbon. Remember, do that on the YouTube channel, not on Facebook or anywhere else. On the YouTube channel, in comments, put what fish you think it is, and hopefully you will be a winner. There is one more night of a grunion run here tonight, not only here, but in the beaches of Baja California as well as Southern California. So it'll be late, it'll be after midnight, but that does get more and more fish on the beaches here. We're hoping for more halibut on Lucky Crafts and even those chrome crocodiles. That works good. Some guys have been doing pretty good up and down the coast on that. There's also been some fish on the bait yesterday. If you hung in there to the very end with us on the morning briefing, you saw that guy catch that smoothhound shark and release it. That was cool and decent sized fish indeed. Gave him a good battle. There's a lot of corvina up and down the beach, and Tino Valentine, who runs the Freedom out of 22nd Street Landing, that's one of his loves, Corvina fishing. The California Corvina, such a great fish. And I know Tino's going to be hitting these beaches here pretty soon, and I'm going to be right next to him. We've been promising one another for a long time that we were going to do that, so it is definitely time we did that together. Corvina like that lighter line, and a variety of baits will work for them, including mussel and sand crabs, which there's a pretty good amount of that here now. Sandworms, they all work really well. Go to lighter line, and remember, you can see those fish kind of meandering up the beach. You can see them, they're in the shallow water, really, really shallow water. So when you do see them, you can run up ahead of them and cast a bait about 6 feet in front of them, and it's an effective way to get those things. So really, really good way to make it happen. So much going on, as you can hear, and I am so excited now with that limits a white sea bass on the Endeavor in a venue that we can fish on the Amigo on our June the 15th trip. It just makes me think that we got that thing planned right. The only thing is going to be wind. If we get away from the wind on June the 15th, when we depart from 22nd Street Landing, the limit's going to go to 3 white sea bass per day. And the amount of sea bass, there's no denying it. It is around all that squid that moved down to the Channel Islands this winter has really made that area an epicenter, but also these other areas. Clementi's got sea bass, Santa Barbara Islands, San Nicolas Island, Catalina Island. All those venues will be open to us. We get away from the wind, and we are going to put the wood to them on that trip. 2 spots open. If you want to get on, just send me a text, 657-227-6459. My great thanks to Scott Buchard for some great video there on the Mission Belle, and those boats right now are just starting to clear Point Loma, starting to head out to the tuna grounds. We're going to be watching them very, very closely today, and we'll keep you in touch with all the very latest. As always, it is my pleasure to spend some time, have a cup of coffee with you here on the morning briefing. Deeply appreciate all of your support as we start to head toward 9,000 hours of content consumed last 28 days. Amazing, and I owe it all to you. Can't thank you enough for your loyalty and for sharing these videos and for your constant support. It really means a lot to me. All right, everybody, have a great morning. We'll see you again here soon on another morning briefing. Take good care of yourselves.